Welcome to Dreams and Thoughts, the podcast where we take a break from the hustle and bustle of life, pour ourselves a beverage of choice, and dive into meaningful conversations about the things that matter most to us. Join us as we explore a wide range of topics, from entertainment and culture to relationships and personal growth, all while sipping on our favorite drinks and sharing our thoughts in a comfortable, relaxed environment. So sit back, relax, let's raise our glasses as we look forward to great episodes of Drinks and Thoughts. Every thought is worth a shot. Drinks and Thoughts. It's fizzy entertainment.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting edition of Drinks and Thoughts. Drinks and Thoughts, your favorite podcast where we sip our favorite beverage. We talk about issues that concern lifestyle, education, and of course, things that relate to you and to us. Today, we are going to be talking on a very exciting topic. Don't go away. I will be back.
Drinks and Thoughts. Spirited conversations with deep thoughts. We stimulate both minds and palates, mixing drinks and ideas.
Today, we'll be talking about AI and IT, artificial intelligence, information technology, the future, the threats, and of course, the business in it. We have with us on our set Prof. Legha Simon, who is an accountant by training, an accountant as a teacher, and who migrated to information technology, and he is also a prof now and a lecturer, in information technology. He is the president of the board of directors of Landmark University, and also the chairman of Landmark Technologies in Canada, Toronto, and also in the United States of America. And he is with us today on our set of Drinks and Thoughts. Welcome, Prof.
Thank you so much, Chichi.
Yeah, how's your stay been in Cameroon?
So far, it's been very good, very great, and, exciting to meet young men and women who are aspiring to embrace a bright future and trying to help them understand the path that they can, choose when it comes to actually realizing the bright future that everyone desires.
Wow. And I should say we have booked Prof for 2 straight days, and Prof has not been able to make it to our show because we thought he was on a break, but while he's in Cameroon, he still has lectures. And, also with the different time zones, Prof is, very resilient in his job and he doesn't miss a class. So thanks for being with us today, Prof, out of your tight schedule. We're not going to keep you for so long, but we're going to be able to squeeze the most we can out of your brains. And also on set today, as usual, Denzel, Ashil, and Tatapong Beyela for Drinks and Thoughts. Denzel, into our topic today.
All right, so today we're looking at AI, the threats, the advantages, and what it means for the future. I think AI, for the best part, artificial intelligence, has been around for a very long time. I just think now it has just metamorphosed. I go back to the early 1990s, early 2000s. There's a movie by an actor I think we all like, Will Smith, and that movie was called iRobot. In that movie, there was a prediction that in 20 to 30 years, there will be artificial machines that will be able to perform human tasks better than them, and there's going to be a shortage of labor. Around that time, most people called it a conspiracy theory. Most people said it's experiments of the imagination. Around 2017, 2018, that prediction started coming true. In early 2022, AI started their flagship program, which has become extremely successful, which is called ChatGPT, which has become not just a tool for good, for bad as well. I first of all like to say AI has a lot of advantages. First of all, it's automation, it's good for business, and it has become a tool to enhance human capacity and performance. People who use AI are able to make their lives a whole lot easier because the decision making is faster, the approach is easier, and then there are a lot of things you could do using less time and less energy. Right. Now, on the flip side, where I stand, I think AI is going to put us in a lot of trouble going forward. Why? I was watching a podcast the other day. AI has the ability to take your voice and generate content which you have not said. There was an issue in America a while ago, and A certain mister was accused for something he did not do. What happened was his phone was recording his voice, and in recording it, AI generated sounds from his behavior and his voice that alleged that he was the one that committed the crime, but it was not him. The chat GPT as itself is beginning to make students intellectually lazy, because you can just write any topic you want on chat GPT. It gives you 2,500 word essay and you put. The problem now is that since it's computer generated, once you input it into the systems, it becomes extremely flagged. I fear that teachers, especially lecturers, will have a very difficult time educating students, because now this is not just knowledge, this is actually intellectual cheating. Because the information is there, but you have not done the work and the research which is needed to carry out that particular task.
Let's get the results.
I think going forward, if we don't regulate the amount of AI which is exposed to not just us, especially the young people, there will be a lot of chaos in the technology field. I see people like Elon Musk who are talking about this every day. The godfather of AI recently quit his job, and he asked his employers to destroy the software that had the creation of AI, but they refused, because now it has become a really, really big business. So I think going forward, we need to find a way to regulate and moderate AI. If not, there's going to be anarchy.
Wow. Great presentation of artificial intelligence from Gwane Denzel. And getting into what we're doing or what we're going to talk about today, Achille, what do you think is the place of information technology in our day-to-day life?
Alors, pour moi, je pense que l'informatique aujourd'hui, c'est extrêmement important. C'est-à-dire, c'est un outil qu'on ne saurait mettre à l'écart, en fait, dans notre évolution. La preuve, aujourd'hui, tout se passe sur Internet, par exemple. Et si vous n'avez pas appris, si vous n'avez pas des compétences en informatique, c'est clair que vous ne pouvez pas manier l'outil Internet aujourd'hui. Donc, dans notre vie d'aujourd'hui, on ne peut pas exclure cet outil-là. On vit avec, parce que ça fait partie aussi de notre époque, parce qu'il faut le dire. Il y a peut-être de cela, 30 ans de cela, on ne connaissait pas trop ce que c'était. Nos parents ne l'ont pas utilisé du tout. Alors, c'est venu avec une certaine génération. Et aujourd'hui, si les générations anciennes ne s'adaptent pas à cette nouvelle technologie, c'est clair qu'ils seront un tout petit peu en arrière par rapport à la marche du monde. Donc je pense que de manière brossée comme ça, l'informatique aujourd'hui est un outil avec lequel on vit. Pour ne pas me répéter, c'est un outil vital, s'il faut le dire comme ça. Aujourd'hui, il suffit de regarder ici, on a 1000 téléphones sur nos chaises là. À chaque fois, on est sur notre téléphone. Bref, c'est l'outil informatique qui nous guide aujourd'hui.
All right, Chatapo, you have 2 master's degrees. You have a master's degree in sociology and anthropology. You have a master's degree in cinematography. You are working on your thesis for your PhD. Denzel just said there is going to be intellectual theft using, artificial intelligence. Do you think in the nearest future your degrees or your knowledge is going to be questionable, with those who you might think are pseudo, PhD holders who might have used AI to build their thesis?
Yeah, I think so to an extent, because the advantage with education and having a master, because you have to defend your masters. That's what they call, you have to defend your masters. So whatever you write in the books, there's a point where you have to stand in front of your supervisors and justify it. Yes, that is why there's that place where they ask you the questions, they go per page, now you have to talk. Because if it's just about going online, we can all have master's degrees. Because it has become crazy. And now I just go on Google Scholar, for example. I put in something I'm checking, and it comes even with more contents and a whole biography that I did not even read. You see, it facilitates a lot of things. And sometimes you don't even get to study anymore. You just copy, you paste. Yes, you can change a bit the terms, not to be detected, you just make a copy-paste. But that is why education is important. Because now they're trying to use this artificial intelligence and the technologies to give less importance to schools, to the infrastructure.
To natural intelligence.
But now it's important because you need to justify that thing you say you master. You will sit in front of people who will give you the certificate because you could, by your words, say, okay, yes, at this part, I made this research here and I came to this conclusion because of this theory I read. Yeah, now we take you face to face. It's no more online.
Wow.
So I see thing has its limitations and real life has its own place.
Beautiful. We have Prof here, and Prof has been lecturing for close to 20 years. And now Prof, you've translated from lecturing in the classroom to lecturing online, and I think that is one of the advantages of IT. Today, that you can be teaching 1,000 students at the same time even from the comfort of your house or the comfort of your office. How, Prof, do you measure artificial intelligence with natural intelligence as per maybe assignments, or should we actually go to school to come and defend, or to defend, like she says, master what we're doing on people going and prepping through ChatGPT and stuff?
Based on my personal experience, I think that AI is very important in driving education in today's world. It's important because it's a tool that can benefit any person, any organization, and any country as a whole. Now, today, I'm able to teach students from 41 countries in the world, and they connect from those countries to attend classes. Now, that is only possible because of the growth in IT and AI. One of my casts that I have is an Escalade 2022. If something is wrong with that car, I'm going to receive a notification on my phone, which means if I had to do oil change, whatever needs to be done, automatically notification is sent to me. So in that case, even if you want to meet a mechanic to tell you what is wrong with your car, the car already have a system and applications working in it such that you already have an idea of what is wrong with the car before going to a mechanic to tell you that, okay, this is the actual problem. Right. So to me, artificial, AI is, in terms of it is far more than its
cons.
Yes, it cons. Because even if you were going to write a project, you have to do research for your project, be it undergraduate, be it master's or PhD. You need to do research, and those research can either be you going to read books from libraries or going online to get the same content.
Right.
So AI has made it simple such that you can be able to browse like tens of thousands of libraries around the world, rather than going to maybe one local library in
the neighborhood, which doesn't even have up-to-date books.
So those are some of the importance of AI. And now, secondly, AI has made it such that you don't need to be in the US for you to be known in US. You just need to do something that is able to sell home and abroad. If you have a product that Americans are going to be craving for that particular product, the next question is, how do you expose the products to them? Today, we are all connected on Facebook because somebody decided to come out with a product, and that product is Facebook. He built Facebook, and around the world, we have at least 7 billion downloads of the Facebook applications. Now, Facebook has made it easy for us to socialize, for us to network, for us to connect, for us to communicate with each other. In the next 1 second, I can know what is going on with you, just by visiting your Facebook page. If I want folks to understand what I'm doing today, all I need to do is to do some posting on my Facebook page, and they will know that, Legha is somewhere, at this point in time, carrying out this kind of task that could be of help to them as well.
Right.
So to me, AI and IT, as a matter of fact, I think in Cameroon we should talk more of IT because we are yet to actually embrace the benefit of information tech before talking about AI itself.
Right.
So information tech itself has a lot of enormous benefit. As a matter of fact, you can sleep and become a billionaire overnight because of how much information technology is able to deliver. Now, as I said again today, I teach at least 1,300 students every week from 41 countries in the world. Now, if I was going to carry out that task 20 years ago, I would need to build an amphitheater, all the visa processes for people to leave America, leave China, leave India, and all of that. All those bottlenecks.
Or you are a visiting professor in different universities.
Just imagine me flying to, US, Canada, China, India, and all of that. That's too much work. So, IT has made it so simple that with a simple Zoom app, all you need is to inform your students to download Zoom, and you share the link with them. In the next 1 minute, they are all connected. The lecture is being delivered. I have trained over 4,000 engineers in under 3 years, and at least 1,000 of them are working. Now, these 4,000 folks, I've not met up to 100 of them face to face. I've not met 100 of these engineers. We have never met. We don't need to meet. All they need is just like if you are using Facebook today, you don't need to meet Mark Zuckerberg.
Right.
You don't need to meet Zuckerberg. All you need is the Facebook application. So, to me, AI has just made it simple such that, if you can actually benefit from its importance, irrespective of what you do, you can be exposed around the world.
Right.
Yes.
Prof, extrapolating from what you said, good thing you are into education. And some time back, we had this conversation on this set, and we were talking about general education. And some people were of the notion that general education is a scam and doesn't have a future. What do you think about general education? As per Cameroon education system?
Yes. The fact is, general education, to me, can help enhance you to leverage what you have learned, to study certain specific skills when it comes to more technical, scientific, and computing studies. But general education being a scam is invalid in the sense that now you have a first degree in English language or in history. Now, the same person that was born with you at the same time, who may be in my village, who never went to school, he or she cannot read nor write, you are far ahead of that person. Simple. Now, I have a family member who is in the US. This person narrowly entered the US. I'm training engineers, and they are the highest paid in the world. Now, he has the option to study for free. But there is no way I can admit him because he cannot read nor write.
No basis.
So there is no way you can see that general education is a scam. Now, the only problem we may have encountered is that our curriculum has somehow, been affected by, some interest holders who may not want our young men to have a proper mastery in which they can actually help themselves and develop the community. Now, I have my children schooling in the West today, US, for example. When I look at the content of what they are trained in terms of, from high school, right? I can tell you that a child that leaves Cameroon with advanced level and somebody that is leaving high schools in Canada, USA, the person from Cameroon here to me is more grounded. Mm-hmm. However, when it comes to tertiary education, that is where those guys, I can say, they are ahead of us. But again, it will shock you that the people I train today, some of them are graduates from top universities in the USA, top universities in the UK, top universities around the world.
Prof,
yes.
What you're saying is driving me
yes.
to the next question.
Okay.
In our world today,
yes,
the objective of education, of us studying skill, is for us to get a job and for us to make money. A lot of the people you train, especially in IT, are people who are deviating from what they studied generally or had as a career path, getting now into IT jobs. Because I know you do a lot of training in IT, in DevOps, in Scrum Master, and all the rest. And so, how now do you situate this person or people having to go through years of education to finally come back and do a 6 months course that can earn you hundreds of thousands of dollars at the end of the year, and you will rather want people to still go through that route, of which we know, because the essence right now in our world is job security, is for us to be able to make money, live comfortable, and follow our dreams. So would you still advise people to go through the 7 years in primary school, the 7 years in secondary school, add the 3 years of nursery school, maybe go to the university again in Cameroon, or maybe say go to QS to become a doctor, make another 7 years, and then to finally come and do a course for 6 months? That's what is winning.
Okay, this is a very tricky question, but again, right, the fact is, it's not just about the course I teach for 6 months where you can.
I just use that one of that as an example.
Okay, but the point I'm trying to drive home is that now information technology has made it such that if you are a good history teacher, it means you can tell story. You can tell your stories and you post them on YouTube. People are curious to know about Cameroon history, the US history, the African history, what actually happened. Why are we not where we ought to be? Now, by the time you post those videos on YouTube, one person watch it, 10, 1,000. Before you know, you have about 1,000 subscribers. They are subscribing to your channel. What are they studying? Now, you are using IT platforms, which is YouTube as one of it, to sell yourself, to expose yourself. That exposure now makes you not only a teacher to GHS, okay, Boya, for example, but you are now a teacher who is able to teach students across Africa, across Cameroon, and across the world. Now, if you have 1,000 subscribers, okay, now YouTube start paying you income. Before you know it, you can make about 1,000 times from YouTube, far more than what your salary as a teacher, okay, is being paid. Now, that is just one part of it. So the point I first of all want to drive home is, you must not do what we offer before you are exposed. Whatever you are doing has enough impact to attract purchasing power around the world. Now, it is just the way you package it. So again, your branding is very important. The way you brand yourself, is what is going to attract folks around the world. Now, there are all the topics that we ever did in school. Those are cash generating units. Expose yourself on YouTube. Now, there are folks on YouTube that are teaching mathematics. They are teaching mathematics. And just by teaching mathematics on YouTube, students are connecting. Now, so again, but now talking about, should people abandon their 7 years of primary, secondary, and maybe 3 years of, university? The question to me is a no.
Or 7 years, because like a medical doctor and some of the students you have.
You're right. No, to me, it's a no, because to me, whatever you do, IT should be part of it. That is it. I am still an accountant. I am a chartered certified accountant, but I'm also an IT engineer. That is to say that whatever you do, IT is a non-negotiable component of your skills, because today we all have phones.
Right.
You use your phones to connect. Phone is a combination of a lot of applications that are running, which have been coupled together. Those applications are developed by some IT engineers around the world. You can also develop an application that is going to be included in the combo of applications that are running in a phone. What am I saying in effect? Whatever a child does today, IT is non-negotiable. IT, as a matter of fact, you need to be IT savvy for your name, to be recognized globally. And whatever product we sell today, before, if you had to market yourself, you have to go through the TV and all of that. Not anymore. Not anymore. Now, just your WhatsApp alone is more than enough to do what? To sell your product and expose you around the world. Folks can understand. Now, that is to say that irrespective of what you are studying, Because again, we can't say that people should no longer go to schools like medical school, for example, because
we still need doctors.
Yes, no matter how much AI is going to be there, somebody will still have to diagnose you and try to find out what could be wrong with you to help you.
But Prof, you just said your car is being auto-diagnosis.
Yes, but I still have to take it for
to the mechanic
to now service it. If my car...
You know my point to that point?
Yes.
How many people can afford the 2022 Escalade?
Okay.
That's very true.
Exactly.
Yes.
I was getting into that because it is a trend now. IT, the AI thing, but now the accessibility and the cost.
Exactly.
Because let's go to the theory of maybe social conflict and class. How many students can even afford a laptop?
A good laptop.
Yes, there are so many students that cannot even afford
why
the laptop before getting even to get to the class of Professor Legha. So what we are talking as if it's just is everybody has access to those technologies. So while we are improving, for me, I think while we are improving the technologies, we should still give a space for human interactions, respect for our professors, and because okay, for example, in my class, yes, I have in year 1 there are 600 students.
Yeah, Prof. The Tapong is also a lecturer in the Yaoundé
University of Yaoundé.
She's one of the youngest,
yes,
if not the youngest lecturers in Cameroon University.
So last week, for example, I was teaching editing. I had to bring my computer to class because that's for the year 3 students even. There are 26 and just one person has a laptop. How do you get to year 3 in a cinema course? You don't even have a laptop even for script writing. They don't have. They can't even pay the fee. That is 50,000 francs. Now let's go to year 1. I have 600 students, and that was script writing. They don't even have good phones to download cell text. Because I say, okay, we're going to work with script writing softwares. Now we cannot blame the lack of the means. So I think universities need to really create laboratories where the students are maybe with equipment. For example,
that's why they say that's like why landmark University is different.
Oh, nice.
Mais moi j'ai envie de dire quelque chose quand même, prof. Aujourd'hui, on est justement dans cette mouvance de la technologie qui va vraiment sur quelque chose d'extraordinaire. Est-ce que vous ne pensez pas qu'avec l'allure que prend la technologie, à un moment donné, il y a des corps de métier qui ne vont plus exister du tout, ou alors on n'aura même plus besoin de l'école, tout simplement. Parce que j'écoutais Tata Pong qui dit, ouais, I'm a lecturer, blah, 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 but at the end of the day, you too, you're a lecturer. Don't you think that sometime, maybe one time will come, your value just stopped? Like, you don't have any value again? Like somebody has his computer, he has internet, he doesn't need you again.
Because he can go learn on YouTube.
He can go learn on YouTube directly, he can go learn in this your value. How do you protect your value?
Okay, now that is a very good question whom you're asking. But let me start with her case in the University of Yaoundé. I think that today we can have good laptops for 100,000 francs. That's like $200. We can have good laptops that students can use. So we may really have to educate our young people who are in school to understand that having a computer is absolutely for their own good. Now, but secondly, most of these young folks don't even understand that the education they are embracing is an investment for them. So they are just in school. I mean, my dad wants me to be in school, right? So then you are in school. Why do I say so? Now, those children that cannot afford a laptop, if you tell them that there is a line to go to Canada, you need 10 million. Or,
look for it.
You know, we have 5 places to enter queues or to enter a NAM. It's 10 million. If you're not you will not be surprised that half of that class will bring that 10 million on the table.
Yes, maybe because they have seen that.
No, but again, yes, no, why are they able to do that? They're able to do that because of what I call misplaced priority.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if they can't afford a laptop in Yaoundé studying, it's not just because they can't afford it. Even the 50,000 francs they may hesitate to pay the fee, it's not because they can't pay the fee. It's just because the value they are attaching to that education is not up to the 50,000 francs they should pay. If it is, they will go to the market themselves to search for that money to come and pay. So as lecturers, it is our duty as well to, to take them out of the classrooms from time to time and let them understand that, this is your future. Now, my story as a person, I am a lecturer today, a proprietor today, simply because when I was in school at any point in time, I considered my studies as my investment. Now, we never had phones, we never had computers and all of that. We needed to buy textbooks. Now, I used to go and even sell firewood. I would split wood and sell because I want to buy a textbook. Now, I had classmates that their parents would buy books for them. They would go and sell the books. They will sell their textbooks.
Yeah.
So you can see the difference. These are two
The
young
priority.
people. Yeah, two young people, but with different priorities. What am I saying in effect? We need to educate our African students to understand that if they have a laptop, they may not need somebody to pay their fee the next academic year. Because if they begin now, you are teaching them scripting and maybe how to be able to design stuff. If they start designing flyers, they can start doing desktop publishing. They can design flyers for companies and all of that. And before they know it, they are making money. Now, talking about the place of, as a lecturer, I now have my content, and the content is being distributed online. That may distract some students from coming to class because they have access to my content. Okay, now, what is now become, or what is going to be my future, maybe 10 years from today, 20 years from today, if all my content now becomes available online? For free. Those are good questions to ask. Now, however, one thing I want to say is that when you go online, you are no longer competing with your fellow lecturers in University of Boya or Yaoundé. Your competition is with the maybe over 2 million lecturers around the world. Some in India, some in America, in Canada, wherever they are. Like, I am lecturing online. What I teach, my competitors are not in Cameroon. They are around the world. So what do? I have to labor to update my skills. I have to ensure that at any point in time, I can compete with my Indian folks. I can compete with my Chinese folks, with folks from where, with global IT professionals. And for you to do that, you need to be constantly studying. As a matter of fact, you are a lifelong student so that you can fit in the market. And again, my content that I shared 6 months ago is not the same content I'm sharing today. So if you have the old content, if you don't have the new one, you are outdated.
But now the guy can just put your content aside and go and look for another content somewhere.
No, the fact is that, if this stuff was as easy as you say, right, then how many years have companies like iPhone and all the applications that are used to support the iPhone from functioning? We should have had at least 1 million companies manufacturing iPhones today, or phones that function exactly like iPhone. So those things are not as simple as we may point them. Okay, why? Because again, when you develop a product, that product in IT terminology is an application. You develop that app. That app needs constant update. Your engineers need to be updating it. Okay, and when we update it, we can remove the former support. You know what I'm saying? Like, which means that the old version that were supported by certain appliances is no longer supported in the new release. So what do? You cannot keep the old version. The old resources you have now become obsolete because there is constant change and evolution. Now, one point I want to say is that, of course, artificial intelligence will have an impact, but that impact will mostly be on a switching effect. Like today, some 20 years ago, if you enter the bank, you are going to see so many bank tellers trying to create accounts for customers, trying to do a lot of stuff for customers. But we have applications today that support online banking. Now, what has happened with that is that it has reduced the number of bankers that we need in the bank, but it has increased the number of IT support engineers who are now supporting those applications in the back end.
Okay.
So, in other words, Prof,
Yes.
the evolution of the job market is IT inclined.
It's IT inclined. It has favored IT career 100%. Because AI is still part of IT.
Right.
It will still be supported by IT.
Yeah.
So that's why I said our children should be allowed to explore the opportunities. But again, in all that they do, IT should be part of it.
Okay.
If you have a child that is good at singing, wants to be a musician, we should encourage that child to be a musician. But while he's becoming a musician, like the last class I had students who just finished from my course, I had musicians, some from Nigeria, some of the popular stars. You know what I'm saying? Why am I saying so? Look at something, please. They can just, the future is IT. That is the future. The future is AI. That's the future. Which therefore implies that whatever you are doing, you need to introduce IT to it. You need to be IT literate.
Right.
Yes.
Where would you situate IT right now in the evolution of Cameroonian education?
That's a very good question. And that's why some of us are in Cameroon to see what can be done and how much we can add to the system. But again, Cameroonian education, we need to embrace IT in the sense that young people need to be allowed to have computers. My children that are even in primary school out there, they have computers in class. It's not each child has a computer. You have to be attached to a system. But can we achieve that in Africa? The answer is yes. Can we achieve that in Cameroon? The answer is yes. We just need to, because again, like I know there was a time that we had some computers shared by the
head of state.
Head of state. But again, the prices of those systems were ridiculous. Because how much money they spent to buy those computers could have bought like 10 times the quantity that was purchased. Which means if one
those
student...
computers, most of them were not working.
Most of them were not even working.
Yeah, I had like two. Yeah, it was not working. And the highest thing you do there is get Microsoft.
Yeah, and of course, it was not it's not adaptable for. It wasn't adaptable.
Yeah,
for
it was one math system. Yeah, one math system. But again, the point here is that we need infrastructure. We need an infrastructure that can support these young people. Because if our young people start getting IT oriented from primary school, by the time they get to secondary school, they are so good such that some of them can even start working. I know of this young Indian guy who, by the time that he was 14 years old, he had probably like 4 books in IT. As a matter of fact, the last time I checked, this young man makes at least $200,000 a month working from Google at the age of about 16 years old. $200,000 a month is about 120 million francs CFA. That is his salary. Why? Because he's very good when it comes to writing programs and AI. And young people, I mean, they are very smart. So if we can give them that platform, I tell you, because if Cameroon as a nation consciously invests in IT, we are securing the future.
At the same time, also maybe a lot of scammers too.
Yes, no, forget about scamming. Look at something like, why do I say forget about scamming? Now, do you know India became what it is? Most of the folks that were converted to now switch over, they are folks that were first of all using their systems for kind of black market scamming and all of that. Yeah. But they were quick to switch, to become white hackers, as we call it. Folks that are now protecting the system and preventing other folks from, getting into the system. Now, last year, the amount of money that India generated from software alone was more than how much Saudi Arabia sold crude oil.
Wow.
Seriously. Now, that tells you that, just imagine that India as a country is making over $200 billion a year from selling IT.
Wow.
IT application, all of that. They support most of our banks in Africa. Mm-hmm. They are supporting the banks with fintech and other applications. Now just imagine that all these applications are now developed from Africa. And we don't only sell in Africa, we sell in Africa and around the world. We sell in the US. We export because again, those applications can fetch a lot of money. Which means if the government consciously decided this year we are going to be investing, that you see $500 million. $500 million. That's about 600 billion francs CFA. In installing IT infrastructures for us to help young people to be passionate about it. Because I have told folks, now, if Satanists can walk in the spirit, the true God can do better. Now, what I mean by that is that, now, if you can spend your time on your computer and you are looking for whom or who you can scam, okay, who you can steal from, if you spend that same time trying to do something good with your time, trying to invest the time to build an application, trying to be the best software developer, trying to be the best person when it comes to Python programming, you just want to be the best when it comes to cinematography. You want to be the best in a particular area of interest. Those that are searching for who to scam, they will not be close to you in the days ahead.
All right, Prof, you spent most part of your life in Boya.
Yes.
Which is the Silicon Mountain. How can you situate Boya and the level of the Silicon Mountain today?
I think the Silicon Mountain, the guys are trying, in the sense that they are trying to expose what they are doing in terms of applications that they are trying to build and all of that. But much work still have to be done. And that's why Landmark is going to be pioneering what I call the next phase in that deployment. Right. Yes, like we have a new campus that we just built. That campus is going to be open next month. The campus itself is going to be running on 100% solar, which therefore, as a matter of fact, the solars have already been installed. So the solar is already running. Now, the reason we are doing that is because we want to create a hub where young people can do research in IT 24/7. I'm calling it a cash generating unit for young men. They should be able to build application, and we are going to be out there to support them. We want to see to what extent we can support them. And one of the things that we are doing, we are bringing in 1,000 laptops, 1,000 systems that you can use to program. So those are some of the things that we are doing. Because I have told the young men that all of you guys that are studying in Landmark, for example, not only Landmark, all the universities around, whatever course you are studying, to me that is an elective. Your main course is IT. It does not say you need to be an IT person. That whatever you are doing, you can bring IT into it. You guys need to have your YouTube channels running. Today you have some young men that are dancing. Just dance. People are just dancing and have a YouTube channel with about 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
They make more money than some of us professors.
Yeah.
They are just dancing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What am I saying? Now, but what has exposed their dance? Look at this kid, ghetto kid. What have exposed their dance?
Yeah.
What is exposing them? It is just introducing whatever you do, just bring IT into it.
IT into it, yeah.
If nobody knew that those children were dancing, they would dance in Uganda
and
for the rest of their life. That's what I'm saying. And become like some of the best dancers we used to have in the village in those days. Those guys could dance, but nobody knew about them.
Yeah.
So now, we want to create a platform to expose these young people. That is just it. We want to create, like I said again, I had an invitation from Nigeria. They want me to train at least 1,000 young men in Nigeria. And the vision is around what we are talking about here. The vision is to have 1,000 young men that can contribute at least $1 million each to the Nigerian economy. You know what I'm saying? That is the vision. Yeah. And how would that contribution happen? By the time you train these young people, okay, and they can build applications, then Africa will soon be competing with India. If India says, like, Nollywood has done that, Nollywood has beaten Bollywood to an extent. Yeah. So, but it should not only end in entertainment, because that does not even have 1% of the money that IT infrastructure has. And that was some of the debate that we had. And from these guys that, we thank God for Nollywood in Africa. It has exposed our African culture. And it also indicated to the world that Africa has a voice and we have something to offer.
So, Prof, if you're called right now, like we're seated, and you're supposed to consult with the head of state, the Minister of Basic Education, Minister of Secondary Education, Minister of Higher Education, Minister of Scientific Research, Minister of Vocational Training, what is it you you have that you can present as a blueprint for the way forward for Cameroon education
Okay, now
relative to IT?
this question you have asked is to me an all important question. Now, what I do today, black people in North America, black folks are happy that the project is being done by a black man. That is the extent of the impact that we have.
Right.
Now, at times when a Nigerian calls me, he starts speaking in Yoruba or in Igbo. They think I am a Nigerian. So, black people around the world, Africans are so excited that it's just that Cameroon, for now, they are even yet to understand what is going on. But Africans are excited that this project is not run by an Indian. Because what
and
I
we
do,
should be excited that it's a Cameroonian.
yes,
It's a Cameroonian.
and because what we do, the closest competitors are Indians. I mean, the closest. There is, in terms of black folks, no. Our record is unbeatable. In under 3 years, because January 2024 will make 3 years. In under 3 years, we have trained over 4,000 engineers and 1,000 are working. Now, some of them are making up to $1 million a year. So this is not some cheap talk somewhere. This is a project that has been tested, proven, and deployed to production. And it is running. It is running. Running such that if I was to sit with the head of state and his cabinet, what I'm going to be informing them is that we have a lot of potentials in our young people.
Right.
And what we need to do is to provide the infrastructure for those potentials to find expression. Because if we don't do that, scamming have no money. The richest scammer is very poor compared to the bright to a kid that
Even Hush Puppy.
is going to decide. Now, Hush Puppy is.
Where is he now? Is he-
Look at something, please. We have young people at the age of 14
Yeah.
who are making 120 million francs a year. No, a month. They make 120 million francs a month at the age of 14. Ask Hush Puppy. You know what I'm saying? If he ever saw that at that age, then just imagine when that young man reaches the age of Hush Puppy. Forget about all, because is that now those that scam, they did not work their money, so they use social media to present how rich they are.
Yeah.
But in reality, those guys are broke guys.
But Prof, what happens and why they scam? They have the reason.
Why they scam? The fact is that there are people that by nature they are like kleptomaniac. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, they are going to steal.
Yeah.
But the point I'm saying is that if scammers can be that wealthy, okay, with all the calculation, they calculate manipulation
And all of
and
the risk.
everything, all the risks they take, all the time they spend, the hours, the sleepless night. Now, if our young people can be reorientated to express their energy in a useful environment,
And they'll use even lesser energy.
they will use far less energy to be far wealthier than all the scammers globally. Now, check the richest scammers in the world. How many of them are close to Mark Zuckerberg, the richest scammers in the world? You know what I'm saying? Check and tell me, how much time does Mark Zuckerberg need to spend to be that wealthy? As you are now speaking, he's making money. He's making money because he invested his energy correctly. And that's why I made a statement. If Satanists can walk in the spirit, the true of God can do better.
That's it.
Which means if they can spend all the time to become who they are, we don't need to spend as much time as they do. We are going to be far, far more than them.
Correct.
Wow.
It's as simple as that.
Drinks and thoughts. Spirited conversations with deep thoughts. We stimulate both minds and palates, mixing drinks and ideas.
So, Prof, what is the future of AI? Like, what should we be scared of?
Whenever there is a change, it's going to have advantages and disadvantages. And AI is kind of a disruptive change in the way things are done in almost all facets of life. We just spoke about ChatGPT today, which is a platform that can help you to do a lot, not just to write AC. For those that build applications, I could ask AI to write for me a Jenkins pipeline script. Now, such a pipeline script is something you can, like, banks can use, like, and those are the things that we train our students to be able to do. But even when it does that, we still need to re-customize it to be very suitable for whatever use you want to narrow it to. And with such a script, it can help you to be a pipeline that when somebody goes to the bank, he wants to do a transaction, he's slotting the card, he or she is authenticated with his PIN, and he can do transactions like maybe transfer money, withdraw cash, change the PIN, and all of that. So those are the advantages of computer system doing our job for us, because that's all about AI, artificial intelligence, where a computerized system can carry out job for you, including robots.
Yes.
Where you can have a robot do some of the heavy lifting, like if you were to carry your car to a mechanic in Bamenda and to carry your car to a mechanic in New York, those are two different scenarios. Because in New York, there will be nobody to be lifting up the car and doing some kind of manual work. Those things will not be done. Machines, with the help of a button, the car is going to be lifted, and whatever job that needs to be done on it is going to be done with relative ease.
So, Prof, when we find robots doing jobs like even chores, washing dishes in restaurants, does it mean we are going to lose this kind of jobs that we used to do in the nearest future because robots will be taking over the place of humans?
Yeah, Chichi, what we need to understand is that this is just a switching over, in the sense that there are some jobs that will no longer need, it will now need limited human intervention compared to how it needs human intervention today. Therefore, since more machines will be needed and applications are running on those machines, we need more people that can manage those applications. That's why, like, the people I train, the last class, I have a student in Paris. Before she completed the course, she had 8 job offers from 8 companies. Now, how is that possible? It's only possible because, for example, a bank is hiring an engineer, and 10 other banks are behind the same engineer. But there are bankers who are jobless, who don't have jobs. Okay, or people with banking degree. Such an individual with a banking degree, all he or she needs to do is to add some IT skills on his skill set.
Right.
So the point I'm trying to measure on, because again, there is nothing you and I can change in this conversation. Whether AI is going to be, how bad AI is going to be. I think our conversation should be, how should we prepare ourselves?
Adapt ourselves to AI.
How much preparation should we do to become adaptable?
Meaning that, Prof.
Yes.
If you have in front of you, right?
Yes.
Somebody with certain skills, let's say a bank.
Yes.
Who has an additional value, which is IT.
Yes.
And you have that AI. Between the two possibilities, which one will you choose?
Good question. Now, I have a bank. I want to employ a banker. One of the guys have a banking degree. The other one have a banking degree plus IT skills attached to it. I'll go for the guy with banking plus IT.
Of course.
But that was not really my question.
Yeah.
I was saying that, okay, you have the guy with banking degree, right? Plus
IT.
an IT as
Knowledge.
an additional value.
Yes.
And then you have
AI.
the AI that you are talking about. Like
The AI
So-
itself, not
so-
the person. The
not the
AI
person
itself,
itself.
not the person.
No, you get it wrong, because we may be misunderstanding how AI is going to function. AI,
maybe can be an application, I don't know.
yes, no, let me come right.
Mhm.
Now, AI is an application
Mhm.
that can enable bank customers
Mhm.
to carry out transactions without any human intervention.
Voilà.
That is the application.
Mhm.
However, if anything goes wrong in what they are doing, humans will have to intervene.
Need human intervention.
So for those humans to intervene, they need to have IT skill set.
Mhm.
So it will not only be a banker who have a degree in banking, but it will be a banker who also understand, okay, how to troubleshoot a problem on a banking application.
Because
How
there's
to
still always the
resolve-
back end.
Yes, because there'll always be the back end.
Mhm.
That's why I'm saying that our conversation, should be more on, making ourselves and our communities and our young people more adaptable in this new change. Because this is a disruption that you and I cannot change it. Whether we like it or not, it is coming. So since it is coming, what should I do? Should I be complaining that AI is coming? AI is coming, I'm going to lose my job. Then AI comes, I'm out of job. Then I said, and I said it, I'm going to lose my job. I have said before that I'll lose my job.
So I should adapt myself.
That is it.
With what is coming.
Yes.
So I want to go back to what the Dapong and I were trying to say.
Yes.
You talked about the difference in how mechanics in maybe Yaoundé and New York are going to operate.
Yes.
I want to go back to the availability of how people can actually afford that. In every conversation I have, I try to look at how it benefits the common man. Yeah. Now, you're in a very privileged position because of how much work you have been able to do, and it has given you the lifestyle that you have. The common man that now, I would like to also think that your class is not for middle class income earners. It's for high income earners.
Scholarships.
So, or there might also be scholarships.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Now, people who like you, who are passionate about what you do, who cannot afford to pay 50K in her class, they want to be part of your teaching method. How does that work now?
Okay, now we have a scholarship scheme that we encourage our young people. In my class, I think 5% of the class always have students on full scholarship.
5%.
Like 5% of the class. And 5% of that class can be like up to 50 students.
That's incredible.
You know, and we run a class every 3 months. So in a year, we can train like 200 students for free. You know, but again, there is something I told you guys before. Now, most of the time, the problem is not that the people are actually in need or in lack. The problem is the value they attach to it. Because the same individuals who would like, Prof, I'm not ready to pay 2 million to be in your class. Okay, the same individuals are ready to pay 5 million to get into INAM.
Prof,
now let me come. They can pay 5 million to enter the United States, even through Mexico or through the forest. Now, let me come right. I have trained students from Cameroon who have been sponsored by European companies, French companies, American companies, and everything is paid for. You have to pay absolutely nothing. All you need to do is just to
attend classes.
It is just for you to defend yourself in an interview. But what you were taught by Prof. Legha and Landmark, you can deliver. Once like one of my students went for an interview, when he finished speaking in Douala, okay, an American company, they said nobody ever presented the end-to-end DevOps life cycle the way you did. And the salary negotiation began from $100,000. Now, that is from Cameroon.
Incredible.
That's from Cameroon, and this guy was studying in Bamenda.
That's not just from Cameroon, Prof. That is the quality of education that you deliver to the students.
Yes, but no, the point I'm trying to drive home here is that, you know, value is not a function of where you are. If you are valuable in Cameroon, that value is going to attract, you know, interest holders from around the world. So that is why now it is in the interest of the Cameroon government and other African governments to invest in our youthful population, to give them the right platform and resources to study. And it is also in the interest for our young people to know that if the government decides not to, they should take the bull by the horn. The same way they are trying to go out of this country
by themselves
at very high cost,
but
they should invest time and acquire a skill. If they do that, I tell you for free, if we have these meetings the next 3 years, we can have at least 10,000 young people in Cameroon, okay, who are worth at least 100 million francs a year in Cameroon.
Yeah.
Not because they have traveled, yes.
But please,
Not
Prof,
because they have
I
traveled.
would love to add something.
Yes.
To be realistic.
Yes.
And mindful of the fact that our show will be watched by all class of people.
Yes.
And it's a very educational show as well, so we'll have a lot of students. My experience as a student, now I'm just trying to inform you, we really have those class of students who want to and can't.
That's why Prof said there's a scholarship.
That advice, let me get to the end. So I love the advice when you said personal investment, and it's true, you can do side jobs and all, but we have sometimes some classes where you have nannies that have been sent to school. She has of course.
Okay.
She wants to learn, but she does really not have. Now Landmark is offering scholarship. We're happy about that. Yeah, but that really class of people who can't afford, not because no matter the effort they do, they can't afford for the laptop.
Yes, let me explain something. 2015, we began a very strong IT department in Landmark. And today we have not less than 50 startups for those that graduated from those classes. Very strong. These students were so passionate that you meet them in school at all time. They bought their laptops. Some of them were from families that they were just struggling. Now, what was the game changer? The game changer was the message. We could point to them the future.
The mindset.
That, okay, now, if you decide to go to QS and become a medical doctor, that's very okay. That's very good. You're a medical doctor. What is your worth? In salary a year, your worth could be like medical doctors, 3 million francs, right? 3 million francs a year for salary. Or 5 million francs a year. But now that is not close to building a good application. So if you are able to spend your time and focus, because again, I want to say that our problem most of the time is not just because we are poor. Our problem most of the time is our priorities. I say so because I come from a very broke background. But now, my priority, in life, I got to a point where I understood that education had a future for me. If I decide to go to school, and not just go to school, but get trained, because you can also be in school and you are not educated. And that is part of the problem we face in Africa. People go to school and they are not schooled. They're in school and their interest is just to graduate. Now, we also have problems where people that are even at work, you can run a company, you employ staff, they come there, they are not working.
Yeah.
At the end of the month, you have to pay them. But how much is their input in the system? You know, how much value have you brought? Now, some people do that and think that they are trying to manipulate other persons. But I tell people that at any point in time in your life, if you are not adding value, you are losing value. So if you are a student who decide not to be schooled, you are going to graduate, but you are going to be empty. My school did their 50th anniversary, Kaskumba. I went to Kaskumba, and I was the ambassador of the Kaskumba 50th anniversary. The principal in his speech said there is no alumni that has contributed what you have done. As a matter of fact, Landmark sponsored the Kaskumba 50th Jubilee. We sponsored the Jubilee. So the principal called me at midnight that we are stuck at this point, and in the next 1 minute, the resources is made available. How was that possible? Now, 20 children don't play together for 20 years. What that means is that we are all of us here together today. The way we invest our time in terms of value accumulation is what is going to distinguish us in time to come, irrespective of where we are. So it doesn't matter whether you are in Cameroon, Canada, US. We have artists in Nigeria. When they enter, New York, the whole city is shut down. The whole city is shut down now. How did they get there? So discipline and value accumulation is non-negotiable in the school of success. Therefore, we need to have more meetings where we help our young people to understand that they have something to offer.
Right.
To understand that their education is not because their parents send them to school. It is absolutely for their own interest and for nation building. That is because if we all have that understanding, life will become so easy. I have a vision to train 1 million Africans. I mean, black engineers who are going to be worth at least $1 million a year. That is the vision. 1 million times $1 million a year. And by God's grace, like I told myself, I said, there will come a time where we are going to be the global policy makers.
Amen.
See, the way Americans treat Africans, they don't treat Indians like that. Because the Indian guy are the ones running California.
Right.
Silicon Valley is run by Indians. They can shut down the entire United States. You know what I'm saying? So the kind of respect that it is given to them, we don't have it because we have less on the table to offer. But can we change the narrative? Of course we can. When is the time to start? The time is now. So all of us just need to be focused in what we do. Dedicate ourselves fully to it. And we should not only be consumers but producers. For example, if I go on Facebook only to watch, postings of all other person and nobody is watching me, I am a consumer. So we need to move from the consumer position to a producer position. We need to do something. And I believe that some Africans in some other places, they are beginning to embrace that. And we also here, we have to do it. And globally, if that is done and embraced quickly, before we know it, we won't need the government anymore. The government will be coming back to us to ask, we have this project. You understand what I'm saying? Can you give us $1 million? Okay, and you will put $1 million on the table and nothing has happened. Because $1 million is less than what you should make from a good application that you are about. Since you and I, since we had this meeting going on, there are IT folks that have made at least $10 million since this meeting started. Some of them don't even, they are not even on the application now. So that is how powerful IT is. So to me, our conversation is AI is coming and has come. Let's prepare ourselves for it. And how do we prepare ourselves? Because no matter how much we analyze the problem, okay, as a matter of fact, we need to be solution driven.
Right.
So if we decide to provide solution globally, before you know it, I will not be bothered. Like you said something about the class of students. Some people are very broke, they are nanny and all of that. I still want to maintain that our principal problem is just our priority. It's not how broke we are. Because when there is a will, there is a way. When you began this whole project, how wealthy were you? You refused to give up. You know what I'm saying? You refused to give up even when the odds were there.
Right.
There was a time you were thinking, okay, maybe I should just travel me abroad, like any other person did. You know what I'm saying? But that was never deployed to production because you understood that you could be a different. And today you are a different. So if we all decide to be differences, before you know it, one of my domestic staff in Canada is a white folk. You know what I'm saying? And at times when it comes to work, okay, I just smile in my office and I said, we must change the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, we must change the narrative because I work from home. We must change the narratives. Is it possible for it to be changed? It's very possible.
If we change our priorities.
Yes.
With all of this, when Prof speaks, you just need to say amen.
Amen.
It's been tightened, it's been heightened, and I believe a lot of you must have learned, through our conversation this day. Tell us what you think on the comment section, and let's continue the conversation on our social media handles. We are rounding up. Prof, what are the last words? I know you've said it all, but I want you to talk specifically about Landmark University and Landmark Technologies. Yes, just cue us into Landmark
Future
University
students.
and Landmark Technologies, and what you offer.
Okay, Landmark University is a university that is offering programs in different disciplines, including IT, but we have nursing programs are running as well, transport programs, logistics management, shipping, and a host of other programs like agriculture. So we run programs, and our orientation in all our courses is whatever you do, there must be a touch of IT in it, and we are trying to train students that will be job ready and problem solvers, people that can start their own companies and all of that. That is what we are doing. And talking about Landmark Technologies, Landmark Tech, we also have, as part of our business in Landmark Tech, we have software development. We are building applications, and we hope to build applications that will beat some of the top applications like Facebook today. So that is what we are doing. So to me, I see Landmark Tech as a multi-billion-dollar company, which is intended to achieve a lot. But for now, we are building the capacity, which means we are training young men and women who are going to be able to carry out that task. And most of these young men and women today, they work in other companies. And the people we train as a date, they are the highest paid engineers in the world. If you check the highest paid engineers in the world, those people that are making more than $500,000 a year, they are less than 1% of the world's population. The people we train, they're in that category. And, that is what we do. We are and the kind of people that we have trained so far, we have folks that we have people that include university professors, who have come to go through the landmark training program. Pharmacists in their numbers, nurses in their numbers, truck drivers, name them. So we've had persons from different fields of life, including artists, who have come to landmark and they have been trained, and today most of them are working as IT engineers in top companies in the world. That's what we do. And now the excitement about this whole stuff is that the main trainer, whom is me, I became an IT engineer some 3 years ago. Now, in 2020, around this time, I was still a student. Graduated in May 2020, and I launched Landmark Tech July 1st, the same year. So from 2020, we began to run these IT courses. And today, I'm privileged to train some of the best engineers you are going to find around the world. And that's what Landmark Technologies is all about. Our vision is to have 1 million black people working. As a matter of fact, our vision is to take over Silicon Valley. So it's not just about Silicon Mountain, that's Silicon Valley in America and Silicon Mountain in Buya. No, that's not what we're looking at. Because most IT infrastructure excel more in the US, because that is like the headquarters when it comes to IT deployments.
Right.
So if you are located there, you can take over the entire environment. Then we now come back, because that is what the Indians have done. Most of the top companies, IT companies inclusive, their CEOs are all Indians. Those narratives must change. But for this to change, we'll not just be complaining, no, Indians are in IT. No, Indians are in IT because they are the ones to be in IT. They are just there because they had embraced IT quicker and earlier than we did. So now that we are in it, we need to get our young folks to understand that. See, there are CEOs that make about $200 million a year working in IT companies. That is about 120 billion. I mean, CEOs, they are working in Silicon Mountain, Silicon Valley. Can our black folks do the same? The answer is yes. When is now? So all hands have to be on deck.
Incredible.
Thank you very much. As we round up, Denzel.
I think the episode has been really good. Me personally, I think after listening to you, I might have to change my approach and the way I look at AI, because I think you'll be very instrumental in explaining that there are more pros than cons. So thank you.
Tetapo.
Yeah,
Professors are going to Landmark.
Of course, I already see myself like a future student in Landmark. That is nice. And also the fact that you can be whatever you want to be and just attach it to whatever you already are. So thank you, Professor.
You're welcome.
Okay, what I can keep today is that if we change our priorities, we can enhance the black joie.
Wow. Excellent. There's no much to say any longer. Subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and see you on the next episodes.
On this show, every thought is worth a shot. Drinks and thoughts. It's fizzy entertainment.